the continent having become a playground for globalization.
So in the last 10 years, 6 of the fastest growing economies in the world have been in Africa. We know this is true because The Economist told us. And all of this is being done because there's a resource boom. We've got gold, we've got minerals, we've got stuff underneath it. Africa has 14% of the world's population, most of them under the age of 30, and we are where China was when its boom years began. I think that the gold of today is mobile. People like to call Africa a mobile-first continent, but I'm telling you that Africa is a mobile-only continent.
To think Africa, act Africa, and prosper Africa.
It comes down to the change of mindset.
We are implementing the Africa we want.
A lot of the countries understand that this is good for them, that it is a game changer.
This is an historic moment for our continent.
So this is entirely African driven. These African countries are making a treaty among themselves.
We've been brought up with so many borders. You know, we have our little countries, we have our little economies, our little sectors. We have so many things that divide us, and I think this is an opportunity to really push against those boundaries and to change them.
I think you need to be very, very focused in what you are doing. Once you believe in what you are doing, you see, you should not take your either business or job as something that you must do. Okay, you must take it as it's part of your hobby. When you try a business and you start, you might have hiccups here and there, but it does not mean that that business is not going to work. There must be challenges. In fact, what I keep saying is that life without challenges is very, very boring.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third edition of the African Business Month in 2021 conference. I will be the facilitator for this exhibition. I am Shannon Gorses, all the way from Namibia, alongside Ms. Alero. I'll just add her onto the stream right now so she can introduce herself. Okay.
I think that Africa is at a point of opportunity. Africa has no automatic future. Africa is not on autopilot to some gilded age, as a lot of people seem to think. What is being rather prematurely, perhaps you might even say falsely, celebrated as Africa's rise is simply the continent having become a playground for globalization.
So in the last 10 years, 6 of the fastest growing economies in the world have been in Africa. We know this is true because The Economist told us. And all of this is being done because there's a resource boom. We've got gold, we've got minerals, we've got stuff underneath it. Africa has 14% of the world's population, most of them under the age of 30, and we are where China was when its boom years began. I think that the gold of today is mobile. People like to call Africa a mobile-first continent, but I'm telling you that Africa is a mobile-only continent. And what we see in Africa is the purest form of innovation, innovation out of necessity. We're not talking about Angry Birds, we're talking about things that people do to make their lives better. So all of this just shows the incredible innovation that people in Africa have come up with. I don't believe that the gold is under the ground, I believe that we are the gold. And this is not that catchy phrase, innovation at the edge. This is innovation over the edge.
This month on YouTube. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's conference will focus on the Black-owned business exhibition under the theme Youth and Women Inclusion in Economic Development. So we are streaming live from the United States of Africa Facebook page, their LinkedIn, Twitter, and even on the African Business Month YouTube channel. So do tune in. I will be introducing our first exhibitor for today, and that is none other than Miss Tatiana Holland. She's the owner and managing attorney of Holland Law Firm, PLCC, a boutique law firm based in Houston, Texas, which focuses on board of immigration, appeals, asylum, and visas for persons impacted by the DACA. And women that are fighting against violence and also for the violent crimes and human trafficking. She's a passionate advocate with numerous awards for her work, from being featured in multiple media outlets, including Fox, that is 4KDFW, and the Dallas Morning News. I will just quickly head on to an ad break, and then I will add her onto the stream.
To think Africa, act Africa, and prosper Africa.
It comes down to the change of mindset.
We are implementing the Africa we want.
A lot of the countries understand that this is good for them, that it is a game changer.
This is an historic moment for our continent.
So this is entirely African driven. These African countries are making a treaty among themselves.
We've been brought up with so many borders. You know, we have our little countries, we have our little economies, our little sectors. We have so many things that divide us, and I think this is an opportunity to really push against those boundaries and to change them.
I think you need to be very, very focused in what you are doing. Once you believe in what you are doing, you see, you should not take your either business or job as something that you must do. Okay, you must take it as it's part of your hobby. When you try a business and you start, you might have hiccups here and there, but it does not mean that that business is not going to work. There must be challenges. In fact, what I keep saying is that life without challenges is very, very boring.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction, Shannon. It was great. Thank you so much.
Hi, Ms. Holland.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
So pretty much today's conversation is going to be about Black women in the legal profession from an entrepreneurship standpoint. Only 2% of attorneys in the United States identify as being Black women. So pretty much when you're outside of Houston, Texas, which is a pretty diverse area, you don't see a lot of Black female attorneys. And there's just a lack of mentorship sometimes. I guess let me back up. I want to start by saying that everyone's experience isn't the same. You know, like we're not a monolith when it comes to Black women in the legal profession, Black female attorneys, but I'm going to speak from my experience and also the experiences of female attorneys that I know. So I live in Houston, Texas. I've been in Houston, Texas for about 7 years, the entire time I've been practicing law. And so I do see a lot of Black female attorneys that are powerhouses everywhere that I go, every court appearance that I have. But when you go to more rural areas, sometimes it can be a little bit more challenging, or when you go to places that are less diverse, you might not see the representation there. So for any woman, any Black woman that's interested in joining the legal profession or is just entering the profession, I just kind of have some tips on that's just kind of how to navigate things. So the one thing is Black women, we are unique. And I think a lot of times we're told that in a professional setting to dial down that uniqueness, to monitor how we wear our hair, our clothing, how we speak. And I'm totally against that. I say when it comes to going into the profession, going into the workplace, embrace your uniqueness, because your uniqueness and your being genuine is how you're going to get forward in life. When you're pretending to be someone else, or you're pretending to behave like someone and it's not even you, people can see that. Your clients can see it, the judges can see it, the prosecutors can see it. When you are sure of yourself and you're sure of what you bring to the table, then you can perform better, And I also think that our uniqueness can go past like what we physically look like or what we exhibit to the outside world. A lot of times our experiences are just so different, whether it's you experiencing discrimination at a young age, or whether you're always feeling like a minority, that can also be a plus in a professional realm. So most of my work, I deal with immigration primarily. So we take cases all over the United States and even outside of the United States when it deals with US immigration law. So a large amount of my clients are refugees, they're asylees, they are escaping violence from their home countries, they're escaping violence sometimes within the United States or crime. So being a Black woman, one of my highest values is empathy. I think that because there's so many times in my life in the past where I didn't quite feel like I fit in, or I did not feel like I was given or presented the same opportunities as some of my counterparts that were non-Black. So I believe that empathy has been an amazing trait to have in this particular profession, because it's focused on advocating for your clients and in believing their story and pulling that story out of them, because a lot of times no one has asked them why they're fleeing a country, why they traveled for 30 days by foot to get to the United States. Sometimes the narrative can sometimes be like, oh, everybody just wants to come to the United States and no one cares about the immigration laws, when that's not the case for so many people. Just no one has taken the time to ask them their story and to advocate for them. So my biggest thing is to just say, bring your unique self, embrace your unique self, and understand that your uniqueness is of such great value. And by hiding that, you're doing a disservice to yourself, and you're doing a disservice to those people who want to actually see and get to know you. My second tip, which kind of goes into that, is understand that whatever room you're in, whatever table that you're at, you deserve to be there. Early in my career, I wasn't really big on speaking up for myself, or I would sometimes kind of wait to see how everyone else felt about it. But no, if you are in the room, that is a room that you're supposed to be in, and make sure that you are advocating for yourself, that you are clearly expressing where you want your career to go, that you are clearly expressing what you don't like about certain settings and certain injustices that are going on. And know that what your education, your unique perspective, the way that you speak, all of that is of value, and you deserve to be there. And a lot of times as Black people, as Black women, we're taught that we really shouldn't be there, or only one of us can be there. So we can't quite bond or mentor or even have great peer groups amongst women who look like us. And that is just absolutely, positively not true. And my third tip is double down on yourself. I feel like I started my law firm, I want to say it was about 2 to 3 years out of law school. And it was because I was working for firms where I was working an insane amount of hours. I don't think I had a Saturday off in like 2 years. I was working an insane amount of hours, and I didn't have the control of the cases that I took. I didn't have control over the way my clients were treated. And that's not where you go. Well, at least for me, that's not why I went to law school. Like, I went to law school to be a unique advocate. I went to law school to be a fierce advocate for all of my clients. So when I could see different law firms kind of treat their cases like meals, they didn't know who their clients really were or what they had going on. It was just kind of get this case closed. And that's not what I was there for. So with very little money, I walked out, quit my job, and I started my law firm out of my apartment. And it has been an amazing journey over the last 5 years. We grew during COVID. Our clients know that we appreciate every single person. My team knows that I appreciate them. So the biggest thing is double down on whatever you want. So my dream was entrepreneurship. Like, I knew I wanted to own a law firm, but whatever your dream is, definitely every day, even if you're working for someone else, take a couple hours out of the day to invest in yourself, so that when it's your time, or when you know that it's your time, to go out there. And I also believe in starting before you know that you're ready. Because I think that sometimes we can overplan and we can say one day, and 10 years have passed. So, double down on yourself, bet on yourself, and start a little bit before you're ready. And my last tip for women in business, Black women in business, is know your worth, charge it. A lot of times women, we will lower our prices, lower our worth, try to get some type of bargain, because we feel like if we aren't cheaper, or if we don't overperform, then necessarily we won't get hired, or people won't necessarily see that value. in our service. And absolutely not. And, because when you don't make people pay you, or you don't make them value and respect you, and I mean more than just money, how you're talked to, how people correspond to you, how they address you, I feel like you have to always make sure that you are stepping into a room and knowing that this confidence, not necessarily arrogance, but this confidence in your skills and all the things that you work for need to be respected the same way they would respect, other races or other genders. So definitely in every scenario, understand that you are worth it. And as you become more of an expert, then you have to charge more because your expertise is worth more. It's just, as Black women, we're so unique and we bring so much to the table. And I think that in the legal profession, in an entrepreneurship journey, it can be tough to see that. But absolutely, you belong there, and go out and do it. So I'm trying to see, does anyone have any questions?
Ooh.
I couldn't quite see.
I think that Africa is at a point of opportunity. Africa has no automatic future. Africa is not on autopilot to some gilded age, as a lot of people seem to think.
Okay, so I'm going to actually hand this back over to Shannon because I didn't see any questions. But thank you guys so much for having me. It has been great. And I can come back in if anyone needs me a little later on in the broadcast.
Having become a playground for globalization.
To think Africa, act Africa, and prosper Africa.
It comes down to the change of mindset.
We are implementing the Africa we want.
A lot of the countries understand that this is good for them, that it is a game changer.
This is an historic moment for our continent.
So this is entirely African driven. These African countries are making a treaty among themselves.
We've been brought up with so many borders. We have our little countries, we have our little economies, our little sectors. We have so many things that divide us, and I think this is an opportunity to really push against those boundaries and to change them.
I think you need to be very, very focused in what you are doing. Once you believe in what you are doing, you should not take your either business or job as something that you must do. Okay, you must take it as it's part of your hobby. When you try a business and you start, you might have hiccups here and there, but it does not mean that that business is not going to work. There must be challenges. In fact, what I keep saying is that life without challenges is very, very boring.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just tuned in, we are live reporting from the African Business magazine. Just before the break, we had Ms. Tatiana Holland on, just to bring you guys up to speed. She is the owner and managing attorney of the Holland Law Firm, and also PLCC, a boutique law firm based in Houston, Texas, which focuses on a board of immigration appeals, asylum, and visas for persons impacted by the DACA and Violence Against Women Act, and also for the violent crimes and human trafficking.
To think Africa, act Africa, and prosper Africa.
It comes down to the change of mindset.
We are implementing the Africa we want.
A lot of the countries understand that this is good for them, that it is a game changer.
This is an historic moment for our continent.
So this is entirely African driven. These African countries are making a treaty among themselves.
We've been brought up with so many borders. You know, we have our little countries, we have our little economies, our little sectors. We have so many things that divide us, and I think this is an opportunity to really push against those boundaries and to change them.
I think you need to be very, very focused in what you are doing. Once you believe in what you are doing, you see, you should not take your either business or job as something that you must do. Okay, you must take it as it's part of your hobby. When you try a business and you start, you might have hiccups here and there, but it does not mean that that business is not going to work. There must be challenges. In fact, what I keep saying is that life without challenges is very, very boring.
Vessels of Virtue Global Entrepreneurship, Social Entrepreneurship and Leadership Awards 2021. This awards ceremony honors the many that have defied odds, challenged the status quo, and have gone on to change not only their lives, but also that of many around them. The awards bring together active stakeholders from around the globe with the aim to appreciate, honor, and support achievers, and help narrate the positive impact individuals are making in their respective countries, continents, and the world at large. Nominations will be made across men and women in different age categories on country level, SADC, East, West, North Africa, the African continent, and global. For more information or to partner with us on this historic groundbreaking event or to make nominations in the various categories, contact us on the details below. Vessels of Virtue Global Entrepreneurship, Social Entrepreneurship and Leadership Awards 2021. Proudly sponsored by Maranatha Publishers, Alohe Cleaners, Vessels Magazine, and Primba Holdings.
All right, we are back. This is the third edition of the African Business Month in 2021 conference. I am Shannon Gorses facilitating this exhibition alongside Ms. Alero, who is experiencing technical difficulties. We all are, so please do bear with us. So I am honored to introduce our next exhibitor to you. That is Dr. Brown, and I'll just be adding her to the stream shortly. Just a little bio on Dr. Brown. She is a retired Army and non-commissioned officer, the founder of the Right Therapy, that is TWT International book publishing firm, and she has a reading and writing publishing program that is YERWPP. She is with over 30 years of experience in the executive leadership expertise, a multi-passionate being with high intellectual curiosity, with a diverse background in many corporate and academic walks. So I will just be adding her to the stream shortly. Do come through, leave your comments, leave your ideas, and whatever you guys have to say to us, okay? Dr. Margaret.
Good morning, Shannon. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Dr. Brown?
I am doing great, doing great.
All right. I will just allow you to do your thing. So I'll be leaving the stream.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So I am passionate about many things, and I love empowering other people to be empowered with their own gifts. And so in creating the Right Therapy, the YERP program is actually the Youth Empowerment Reading and Writing Publishing Program. And so I find that the youth they're prolific. They crave expression and the spaces to do that. And so part of my creating this program was to allow them to be able to write about what they wanted to write about, things that affect them, things that they are passionate about, that they are concerned about, and just to be able to release and at the same time have their work published. And I teach them about entrepreneurship and the power of harnessing your own power and to be able to self-determine what areas you want to be in life, what tables you want to be able to sit around. And with that comes finances, their financial stability through becoming entrepreneurs in authoring their own writing, not just authoring their own writing, but be able to see it down the road before you've even published that. So once you have your book, we help them to create a marketing plan that will put them in sitting around different tables, talking to other authors who have done this for many years, providing mentorship opportunities, giving them leadership skills to continue to grow their own entrepreneurial business as authors. It's been well received. I loved reading the stories, and it's an honor to be able to help other people actualize what their passion is. And so this is what the Write Therapy does. And I look forward to continuing to do business around the world, growing partnerships, getting donors to help sponsor the youth in writing and publishing their books, and providing workshops so that they know that this program is available to them, and that they will have an avenue to be able to have a better life for themselves, and not necessarily being forced to sit behind a desk for 8-9 hours a day to make a living. They can make a living on their own and talk about those things through their writing that they're interested in talking about. Do you have any questions for me? So another part of Write Therapy, we dive into helping our veterans and those who deal with PTSD and trauma. They have a story to tell, and oftentimes writing is very therapeutic. And so we have workshops that help them to express themselves. We show them how to lay their books out, their work. We provide editing, and we give them a platform as well to be able to speak to those things that bother them, that have been holding them back, that have been plaguing them through trauma. And we also provide some mental health therapy the traditional way, in that we link them with practitioners that are willing to donate some of their time to our veterans and others who are dealing with trauma as well.
To think Africa, act Africa, and prosper Africa.
It comes down to the change of mindset.
We are implementing the Africa we want.
A lot of the countries understand that this is good for them, that it is a game changer.
This is an historic moment for our continent.
You can go ahead with the presentation. There's some added interruptions that you can go ahead.
And so in dealing with trauma and PTSD, we are able to change the way therapy is done by providing an alternative method in which to provide therapy. Most people think you have to take medicine to heal and to keep things at bay. But when you're talking about the mind, there are other methods to provide our veterans, to provide those dealing with trauma, to heal. And writing has been for decades a way that people heal, because you're able to get what's going on with you in your heart, in your mind, out and put it on paper. And sometimes that's all the release that people really need, is to get it out of their mind so that they can deal with the things that are coming in on a daily basis, and not having so much compacted inside and holding it in. So the Right Therapy is that platform. We not only work with veterans, we work with the military child. We work with caregivers of people, because they also experience trauma going through the caring of their loved one or others. But we definitely support the youth, because the youth are faced with issues that we didn't have to deal with when we were younger. And because they're such creative beings, we help them harness their creativity in a different way and in many different formats. And we allow them to speak their truth and heal and get in a better headspace so that they can tackle the world and grow up and overcome those mental issues at hand. But that's what we do with the Right Therapy. And I look forward to continuing doing the work. I've been doing it ever since 2015 in different spaces. I partnered with the Girl Scouts of America and published a few of their books. Their work is in libraries throughout North Carolina. And they've been published as well in the newspaper, and stories written about them, and laudatory comments about the program. So I just look forward to providing the service and the program to anyone out there that is experiencing PTSD, trauma, and wanting to express themselves in a different way and through an alternative means besides taking medicine to heal. We provide the writing for that. But I appreciate you having me on today to talk about what we do, what services we provide, and I hope it sparks the interest of not only the youth and those who would like to participate in the program, but for those who are looking to partner with other organizations such as mine that speak to their mission in mental health, speak to their mission in youth empowerment. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Margaret. I believe some of our hosts are having some technical hitches, but I'd like to know, how can people reach out to you?
Yes, thank you for asking. You can reach me at email business, BUSINESS at righttherapy.org. I'll spell the whole thing. BUSINESS at WRIGHTHERAPY.org. You can also reach me at 910-670-0552.
Thank you so much. Let me see if there's any question. There's one saying that women are geniuses by nature, and I believe you develop woman, you develop. So what are your thoughts on this comment? And in terms of ensuring that women get an equal space in terms of the economic development, what are your thoughts on ensuring that this happens? How can women? Yes.
Yes, that is a good question. So, first of all, I believe that through education, right, allowing them the ability to make vocational choices that is going to decrease the gender divide in engineering, for example. We need to get more women in engineering. STEM, we need to get more women in STEM. So decreasing that divide there through education will allow women to rise that political, economical ladder. At the same time, I believe political roles, supporting females in political roles that will allow them to sit around the tables, to be able to express, talk about things that interest women, that they know empower women, and to affect the policies that have kept us out of places where we cannot economically grow. So I think in those two places, education and in the political realm, women need to be there more. But I also think, if you will, I also think that if we empower our youth at a young age, male or female, if we empower our youth at a young age to take responsibility of their own careers at a very young age, we give them the guidance, the leadership, the mentorship, the training as they grow and they see women in these leadership roles, more entrepreneurs. They see us in these leadership roles and they become that person. They can see themselves there as well. So if you've given them the training, you've provided the opportunity, then they can then walk into their own actuality of what they want to become because they've seen women in political places that we have been kept out of for a long time. But these are the ways I think that will empower.
Thank you very much. That's a very good submission. I had to juggle up, and you can see that we have managed to overcome some of the technical challenges. And I agree with women being empowered in political positions. It's very important to empower our women. And then in terms of the political spaces as well, so that they can make decisions when it comes to the important decisions that affect the masses. So I really appreciate your time being part of the African Business Month. And certainly, we're going to continue working with your organization in terms of ensuring that Black women are empowered. Do you have any final thoughts for our viewers?
So I would say thank you for the invite. Thank you for the space. And I appreciate the time you've taken to interact with the right therapy. And I look forward to working with you all as well. And much success.
Thank you very much. And you're so much welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, greetings. How are you? It's nice to have you on the African Business Month. Though we've had some technical hitches. I don't know if you can hear me. You can't hear me? Okay, let me try to see if it's going to work.
No, it was me. I can hear you. I was just on mute.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, so it's just the technical hitches. The host did not even hear part of the presentation that you are making.
Okay.
So I'd like to know what are some of the challenges that you've encountered being a Black woman and being an attorney.
In the beginning, I think the biggest challenge was a lot of times when you enter courtrooms or spaces, other attorneys might, or the judges sometimes will just completely overlook you like you're not there. Or they'll ask, you know, like, when is the attorney showing up? I'm like, I've already introduced myself as the attorney. I said it already, you know, so that type of thing. And I used to take it personally. But over time, I just decided that, like, look, I'm just going to take up even more space. You know, like, just because you choose to disrespect me or overlook me, I'm going to fill up the room with my presence, with my skill, with my proficiency, and you just have to keep it moving.
Yeah, that's a very good strategy, and we need to ensure that there are more Black women attorneys, and the more they want to erase us from the history, the more we create the history and ensure that we are part of every aspect of the economic development and in every career. And I'd like to know if you have any advice to anyone, any Black woman who wants to become an attorney, and she has been hearing such kind of things, what you've mentioned, people not believing that a Black woman can be an attorney and can actually even open her own law firm.
I think as a Black woman, my biggest advice would be pull from your experiences where they told you can do all the things that you've done already. Like, as Black women, we're told, you know, at every stage of our development that, you know, hey, to be a little quieter, to give other people a shot. No, like, you've got this. You're intelligent. And if this is something that you want to do, go after it. So it's never too early to get mentors. So whether you can reach out to other women in the legal profession, other women business owners that you know, that's where I would start first. And luckily, like, we have the internet, so you can just reach out and get so many great online resources as far as picking the right law school that's for you. So for me, one of the biggest things is I wanted to pick a law school that would teach me the skills to be a trial lawyer, to teach me entrepreneurship, and then also to not put me in a lot of debt, because that law school can be a pretty expensive venture. And that is how I chose my law school, where I graduated from Southern University Law Center in Baton Rouge. So it was a quality education, but it also didn't put me in a lot of debt upon graduation. And just go for it, because you have to excel in those 3 years of law school. You have to study extremely hard for the bar exam, pass the bar exam, find a job, or open your own business. So you have to believe in yourself at every step. With every breath, you have to believe in yourself. One of the big things that I did was, when I was studying for the bar exam, I printed the list from the year prior. I put my name on it, and I put it on my bathroom window. So regardless of how people were saying no one passes the bar exam the first time, you know, what if you don't pass? None of that was even allowed in my space. I made sure that I could only see success. And that's just how I move every day with my firm, my clients, is, hey, if the door is closed, we go through a window, we knock down the door, but you just have to succeed.
Yeah, certainly. Even if the door is closed, we'll create one. People usually thrive and succeed amidst all challenges. And I'd like to know if how can people reach out to you for your services?
Oh, awesome. Okay, so we handle immigration issues in the United States and outside of the United States, as long as it deals with U.S. immigration law. So for people who want to come to the United States to visit,
Right.
to live permanently, to go to
Seems
school.
like I should reach out to you.
Oh, yes, you can reach out. So my phone number is 832. It's a U.S. phone number. So 832-328-7877. I'm also on Instagram, Holland Law Firm, PLLC. LinkedIn, same thing. Facebook is the exact same thing. Reach out on all of them, and either I'll answer or a member of the team will answer. So Holland Law Firm, PLLC.
Thank you very much. I'm sure that our viewers are going to reach out. And any final thoughts, final words that you want to leave us, to leave our viewers with?
The biggest thing, just as a Black woman in whatever space that you're in, embrace your uniqueness, bring it out. Like, don't let anyone make you cower or believe that there's anything about what you bring to the table that needs to be silenced. Like, you have a unique voice, a unique look, and it brings so much value into any space that you're in, and make it work for you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for also accepting to be part of this year's African Business Month. It has been a very enriching conversation, and look forward to inviting you again.
Oh, thank you so much. I had a great time, and thanks for having me.
You're so much welcome.
Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you, everyone who is watching the African Business Month. We have come to the end of the conference. You can share the stream. You can share with your friends and relatives, and follow us on United States of Africa on Twitter, on Facebook page. You can also subscribe to the African Business Month YouTube channel. And thank you very much for tuning in.
To think Africa, act Africa, and prosper Africa.
It comes down to the change of mindset.
We are implementing the Africa we want.
A lot of the countries understand that this is good for them, that it is a game changer.
This is an historic moment for our continent.
So this is entirely African driven. These African countries are making a treaty among themselves.
We've been brought up with so many borders. You know, we have our little countries, we have our little economies, our little sectors. We have so many things that divide us, and I think this is an opportunity to really push against those boundaries and to change them.
I think you need to be very, very focused in what you are doing. Once you believe in what you are doing, you see, you should not take your either business or job as something that you must do. Okay, you must take it as it's part of your hobby. When you try a business and you start, you might have hiccups here and there, but it does not mean that that business is not going to work. There must be challenges. In fact, what I keep saying is that life without challenges is very, very boring.